Hey guys, thanks for joining me on another episode of Jack's Mechanics. Today we are looking at a 2015 Holden Malibu or Chevy Malibu, depending on where you are. It's a 2.4 litre, it's also run in the Captivas. This is the LE9 engine code in particular. Customer complaint, engine light. Nothing else was said, but it is running a little bit rough. So we will just scan it for codes. I'll get you down on the scan tool. Come on, intake. I would just like to read it, that'd be nice. 112,000 Ks. Exhaust cam position system performance. Exhaust cam solenoid control circuit. Low and high. We'll let this finish. Alright, so intake cam, actuator solenoid. Looks like possibly somebody's been in here, test failed since DTC clear. Well, that's a history one. Not sure if that actually means that somebody's cleared them or like failed since the first time they were ever cleared. Exhaust cam. What else we got? Cam actuator, timing over advanced, actuator for B. So that's saying exhaust, but the first actuator, depending on how many cams it has, and that's intake. First actuator, depending on how many intake cams it has. So we'll just go into the engine. And we'll have a look, see if there's anything for cam actuator data. Sorry about the focusing thing there. Well, the cams don't actually active counter. Well, it looks like they're not out of phase from each other. Desired. So they're not moving as much. Well, the exhaust is definitely not moving. Intake one seems to be okay. Definitely running a bit rough. I mean, what do we have there? Cam actuator, control circuit open test, low voltage, high voltage. Something potentially weird going on there. Let's have a look. It looked like it was really trying to move that exhaust cam. Nothing. Might just go into the solenoids and have a quick look. Almost seems like it's open or something like that. We'll check for power and control, and we'll resistance check them as well and see what they look like. Okay, so we'll just check the control side of the exhaust. So I just got the test light wired in, connected here. Probably not a good idea for that to be that close. And yeah, we'll just start it and hopefully we get some light. shut up. So that confirms that we've got good control of that solenoid, and that's obviously the exhaust one that's not doing anything. So we'll just check the resistance on that one as well, and see what happens there. Righto, so hopefully our connection's good enough in there. And put one out, stab myself on the finger. Come on. Put that one there. Grab our other lead. And measure that. So that's like 15. I mean, that seems pretty respectable. Pretty respectable, I'd say. What else could we do? Unless that was touching down there. We'll measure the other one as well and see. We have a, well, essentially a good one to compare to. So I'll just take that connector off and check that one as well. Righto, so fast forward a couple hours. Been doing some other stuff. So I was a bit confused when we were taking the measurement of the solenoid. We were getting, what are we reading here? Some so hard to do one-handed. Like, that's crazy numbers. They're all over the place. But what we have here is a brand new solenoid. So I spoke to the customer and I told him sort of what we had found with the what's it called, control and the power, and it looked like it needed solenoids. But yeah, I wasn't too sure about the resistance reading, and essentially I will try and get the reading of this one, which I would just have to pause it and try and get it set up in my hand and then start the recording again, so just bear with me. Righto, so here we are. It's a bit hard to show you, but you know, nice steady reading of 10-11 ohms, and that one is just sort of all over the joint. So whether that's sort of got like a partial open or something like that, on both of them we were getting the same sort of k ohm reading, and I thought from memory these VVT solenoids are, you know, around somewhere between 10 and 15, so looks like we made a good decision getting that. We've got one, the intake one, the exhaust one is coming, so we're going to change both of those over and then see where we are in a couple hours. Well, obviously not a couple hours to do those. If you do want to change them, 10mm bolts, 10mm head, 6mm bolt, and pull those out, pop your new one in, make sure it's all nice and clean down there. Something that I did do off camera that I just thought about, I forgot to say, I did check the oil before you go down this path. Check your oil, make sure your oil is good, make sure it's nice and full, and yeah, so that's the next step. We'll get these valves changed over, and then we'll look at the live data again and make sure that that's all happy. Yeah, just a bit confusing about the measure, bloody hell, can't think, resistance reading on those original solenoids being crazy like that. So maybe somebody can elaborate a little bit more, but we're going to get 2 new solenoids in this thing and see what happens. Righto, so we've got the 2 new solenoids in, and we are going to start the car for the first time. I just cleared the codes. as you can see, just started the car, and so we'll rev it up, see if we can get some command percentage, desired exhaust cam degrees, desired intake degrees. Looking a lot better. These two are matching, so desired exhaust, actual exhaust, desired intake, actual intake. So that looks good. Well, at least we got something working. So looks like it was just the two solenoids. Yeah, again, not sure why the resistance on those solenoids was so high. And I think when I checked them the first time, and they were like around 20 odd, when I had the female terminal connectors onto it. Maybe they were like touching, and that's why we had a better reading than the rest of them. It's a bit odd. I'm not too sure. I don't know why the reading is in the K ohms. Like I said, maybe it was down to the fact of a partial open or something like that. But yeah, essentially two new solenoids. Let's fix these codes. That's pretty much it. Pretty straightforward on this one, which is nice. We've got two new premium parts in there, so they're from Premier Auto Trade, and yeah, pretty straightforward in swapping them over as well, which is a nice change. So if you learned anything, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. That would help me out. We'll catch you at the next one, guys. Take care.